0517 local time. The ocean is calm. Too calm. Deep inside the Combat Information Center, a single tone slips through the steady hum of electronics. It is not loud, it is not dramatic, but it is wrong. A sonar operator tilts his head toward the screen. The trace is not random noise. It is not marine life. It is narrow, focused, and moving with purpose. New contact, bearing 279. The bridge does not react. Not yet. For a few seconds, the contact drifts in the water, almost passive, almost curious. Then the signature changes. The water around it begins to break in a very specific way. Cavitation. The operator does not raise his voice. He does not need to. Contact is accelerating. Another console lights up. The speed climbs fast. Too fast for drifting debris. Too fast for anything natural. The line on the screen sharpens, tightens, and becomes impossible to misread. The watch supervisor leans closer. Classify. There is a pause, half a second, long enough for every person in the room to understand what comes next. Possible inbound underwater threat. On the bridge, the captain keeps his eyes fixed on the water ahead. His voice stays calm and controlled. Mark datum. Forward, steel shutters slide open around the gun mount. Not fully, just enough to move. A quiet mechanical sign that the ship has changed its posture. On the flight deck, a yellow shirt freezes mid-step. A tow bar hangs inches above the non-skid surface. Nobody speaks. Below deck, the sonar picture becomes clear. This is not a drill, the supervisor says. Separation confirmed. The words settle over the room. The contact has broken away from its origin point. It is no longer drifting. It is running clean, fast, and with a clear purpose. An inbound torpedo. It cuts through the water on a shallow path, staying at a depth that keeps it fast and difficult to shake. Its course is not random. It is not searching blindly. It is aimed. Track is steady, sonar reports. No meaningful wander. A wandering track can be confused. This one is not. Inside CIC, hands move faster now, but there is still no panic. Tracks are assigned, timelines appear. A countdown begins in the corner of the main display. Time to closest point of approach, measured in minutes. The bridge phone rings once. CIC to bridge. We have an inbound high-speed track bearing 279. No one asks where it came from. That question can wait. The captain nods once. All stations, he says quietly. Condition 1. Across the ship, the change is immediate. Watertight doors seal. Standby systems come alive. The carrier ahead keeps moving on course, massive and deliberate, as if it has no idea what is racing beneath the surface. But CIC knows. The acoustic signature grows louder and more defined. The track adjusts its depth slightly, riding layers of water density with unsettling precision. Guidance is active, sonar reports. It is listening. That makes it worse. A listening device is not just moving, it is choosing. The fire control team plots the path again. The solution does not change. The inbound track is committed. It has selected its target. Closest approach in 4 minutes. No one answers. Above deck, a jet blast deflector cracks softly as the ship flexes. The sea remains smooth, almost beautiful. Sunlight breaking cleanly across the carrier's wake. Below that surface, something is closing fast. The track spikes again. A final sprint. The signature tightens, cutting through the water like a blade. Acceleration noted, sonar says. It's running hot. The phrase hangs in the air. Running hot means it is no longer saving energy. It means the device believes it is close enough to spend everything it has. On the bridge, the captain finally speaks again. Maintain course. No evasive turn. Not yet. Turning too early would confirm the target. Turning the wrong way could make everything worse. In CIC, a junior sailor swallows hard, eyes locked on the scrolling data. The numbers do not care how he feels. They keep moving. The inbound track does not slow. It does not hesitate. It does not miss. Not yet. Track is firm, sonar confirms. Homing! The room falls silent, except for the steady system tone marking every second that slips away. Somewhere beneath the hull, something has been set in motion. And whoever launched it knew exactly what they were doing. The clock is already running. Inside the Combat Information Center, the inbound track remains steady, a thin white line cutting across the display with ruthless consistency. No erratic movement, no wide search pattern, only speed and direction. Time to CPA, 3 minutes, 30 seconds. The words are spoken calmly, but everyone understands what they mean. There is no extra space here, no rehearsal, no reset. On the bridge, the carrier silhouette dominates the horizon ahead, unchanged, unhurried. A floating city of steel, moving forward as if nothing beneath the ocean has changed. But everything has. Recommend active sonar, CIC reports. That recommendation carries weight. Active sonar is not subtle. It is a shout into the ocean, a declaration that the ship is no longer trying to stay quiet. It reveals position, heading, intent. The captain does not answer immediately. Another update cuts in. Track maintaining depth, speed unchanged. The inbound threat is confident. The captain's jaw tightens. Go active. Below the hull, the ship speaks. A sharp metallic pulse strikes the water, spreading outward in widening rings. The return comes back almost instantly. Clean, clear, impossible to ignore. There, sonar says. Solid return. Inbound threat confirmed. The torpedo answers the ping. Not with panic, with adjustment. It's reacting, the operator continues. Minor course correction, still inbound. That reaction changes everything. This is not a simple object riding its own momentum. It is processing, listening, choosing. On another console, the seeker tone shifts in pitch. The change is subtle, but everyone in the room hears it. It has found something it wants. Countermeasures ready, a voice reports. Launch! Behind the hull, compressed air hisses through the system. Acoustic decoys are pushed into the sea, dropping quickly before coming alive seconds later. They bloom beneath the surface, filling the water with false signatures, loud and convincing, designed to confuse the track and pull it away from the ship. Decoys in the water, CIC confirms. For one brief moment, the inbound line hesitates. It wavers slightly. Not much, just a fraction of a degree. Enough for hope to enter the room. Then the line corrects. Negative effect, sonar says. Inbound track rejected decoy. The track snaps back to its original path, even tighter than before. On the bridge, no one curses. No one breaks posture. The captain's knuckles tighten just enough to turn pale. Then they relax. All escorts, he says evenly. Execute separation plan. The formation begins to move. The carrier holds its course, massive and deliberate, while the screening ships peel away into assigned positions. Each movement is designed to stretch the inbound track's choices and complicate its final solution. It is a maneuver practiced countless times. Now it is happening for real. Inside CIC, the tactical display fills with motion. Bearings shift, distances update. Every change is tracked. Every second matters. Time to CPA, 2 minutes. The inbound threat accelerates again. That's max sprint, sonar notes. It's spent in everything. That tells them something important. The system believes it is close. It expects to reach its target soon. The captain makes the next call. Launch bubble screen! Along the hull, systems activate. Streams of compressed air push into the sea, releasing millions of bubbles beneath the ship. A shimmering curtain forms underwater, designed to distort sound and break the clean acoustic picture. The effect is immediate. Seeker quality degrading, sonar reports. Signal strength fluctuating. For the first time, the inbound track truly hesitates. Its path bends slightly, as if questioning what it is hearing. But it does not turn away.
It's pushing through, the operator says. Still holding primary.
The threat has committed. Whatever logic drives it has chosen pressure over caution. Time to CPA, 1 minute, 15 seconds. On the flight deck, engines spool down. Every unnecessary vibration is reduced. The entire ship seems to hold its breath. Inside CIC, the fire control officer leans forward. Recommend hard maneuver. That is the last card. A sharp turn might break the final approach, but only if timed perfectly. Too early, and the inbound system adapts. Too late, and there is no room left. The captain looks at the clock, then at the horizon. Stand by. The torpedo closes the distance with frightening speed. Its acoustic signature grows louder, deeper, more present, filling the room with the sound of something that feels almost alive. Something searching. Something closing. CPA, 60 seconds! Every system is active now. Every option is ready. The clock continues to fall. And somewhere beneath the surface, the inbound threat races forward, unaware that it is no longer the only hunter in the water. Because the torpedo is no longer the only problem. Inside the Combat Information Center, analysts begin rewinding the picture. Not backward in time, backward through the water. Every bearing change, every tiny correction, every adjustment the inbound track has made is plotted, reversed, and matched against the surrounding ocean. Backtrack the launch basket, the watch supervisor orders.
Lines spread across the display, then slowly begin to converge on a dark patch of ocean that no one on the surface would ever notice. The math is unforgiving. The inbound system's confidence has exposed its origin. Probable firing point narrowing, sonar reports. Another pulse goes out. Not louder, sharper, more precise. The return comes back layered and dense. Something is there, tucked inside the clutter near the ocean floor. The operator's eyes lock on the screen. There, secondary contact. Large, slow, deep.
The room tightens. That's not debris, someone mutters. The contact shifts depth by a few meters, then steadies again. It is trying to vanish, trying to blend into the background. But it is too late. Contact classified, the supervisor says. Subsurface contact firm. The bridge phone clicks once. CIC to bridge. We have a second contact. Submarine correlated with inbound launch. No drama, no raised voices, just confirmation. On the bridge, the captain finally turns his head. The captain exhales slowly through his nose. Nationality? For a moment, no one answers. Inside CIC, databases begin cross-checking everything at once. Hull profile, acoustic fingerprint, propulsion rhythm. Small patterns collected over years, now forced into one answer. Signature matches Iranian diesel-electric class, CIC replies. High confidence. That answers the question no one had said out loud. Below the surface, the submarine moves again.
A controlled descent.
A careful attempt to slip beneath a thermal layer. Classic evasion. Textbook. They're going quiet, sonar says. Speed minimal. Too late. The inbound track continues its run. But now the ocean has changed. It is no longer empty water. It is filled with sensors, movement, and intent. Launch ASW Hilo, the captain orders. On the flight deck, restraint disappears. The Seahawk's rotors begin to turn, slow at first, then faster, cutting the air with purpose. Chains drop. Hands move.
Within seconds, the helicopter rises cleanly from the deck and noses forward. Inside the cabin, the crew is already working.
Dipping sonar ready.
The helicopter settles into a low hover over the suspected datum. Beneath it, the sonar dome lowers into the sea, breaking the surface like a steel needle.
Hang out.
The water answers. A hollow metallic return comes back. Wrong for rock. Wrong for wreckage.
Contact solid,
The helicopter reports.
large metal hull.
The submarine reacts immediately. Below, it changes depth and turns hard, trying to slide laterally out of the sonar cone. A smart move. A trained crew. But the helicopter follows with ease, shifting sideways through the air and keeping the contact centered. Inside CIC, two threats now share the same screen. The inbound underwater track racing toward the formation, and the submarine trying to escape the consequences of launching it.
We can't chase both.
The fire control officer says quietly.
Everyone knows it. Resources are limited. Time is limited. The ocean does not reward hesitation. Priority remains the inbound track, the captain says. Contain the sub. The helicopter crew adjusts altitude and lowers the sonar again. Each pulse sharpens the picture. Submarine is maneuvering, they report. Course erratic. They know we have them. That changes everything. A submarine that knows it has been found becomes unpredictable. It may try to flee. It may try another move. It may do both.
Inside the CIC, the countdown drops under 40 seconds.
Inbound track still holding primary, sonar confirms. No break. The submarine, feeling pressure from above, makes one final attempt. It releases its own countermeasures, filling the water with noise, false returns, and artificial signatures. Countermeasures detected, sonar says. The ocean fills with ghosts. For a moment, the picture blurs. Contacts overlap, returns smear together. Then training takes over. Hold classification, the supervisor snaps. Ignore the noise, follow the mass. The real submarine cannot fake inertia. It cannot fake displacement. There, sonar says again. Contact regained, same hole. The helicopter slides forward, unrelenting. Down below, the submarine's options are disappearing. It has been seen, heard, measured. Every move it makes is now data. The inbound track closes inside 30 seconds. 2 hunters, 1 ship, 1 decision left.
On the bridge, the captain's voice cuts through the tension.
Prepare to engage the submarine, he says, as soon as the inbound threat is defeated.
No threat, no warning, just sequence. The submarine slips deeper, quieter, trying to buy time. It will not get much, because in the final moments before contact, the balance has already shifted. The prey is no longer running alone. The decision is made. Inside the Combat Information Center, the inbound track flashes amber. Final approach. No more theory, no more modeling.
Track inside terminal envelope. That is the last neutral phrase before everything changes. Launch counter torpedo. The order does not echo. It does not need to. Deep inside the ship, a tube floods. Pressure equalizes. Then a second shape slips into the water. Smaller, faster, built for one purpose: stop the hunter. The countermeasure activates almost instantly, accelerating hard through the disturbed water and locking onto the incoming threat. Its guidance is direct, no hesitation, no doubt. Counter-weapon active, sonar reports. High-speed intercept. On the main display, 2 lines race toward each other, one inbound, one outbound. The geometry is cold, precise, and unforgiving. Intercept solution steady. The incoming track reacts. Its seeker flares, suddenly aware that it is no longer alone. It shifts slightly, attempting one last correction. It does not matter. The counterweapon adjusts faster, climbing through the water column with brutal efficiency. Closing. A bit. Closing. Then the screen blooms white. A heavy shockwave rolls through the sea. A dull underwater thump reaches the hull, faint but unmistakable. The inbound track vanishes instantly, replaced by scattered noise and drifting fragments. Neutralization confirmed, sonar says. For half a second, no one speaks. Then the supervisor nods once. Primary threat neutralized. On the bridge, the captain does not celebrate. His eyes stay forward, already on the next problem. Because the first crisis may be over, but the situation is not. Engage the submarine, he says. Above the water, the order moves through the ship like electricity. The Seahawk is already moving. Cleared hot, the helicopter crew acknowledges. It banks slow over the water, lining up above the last filmed datum. The sonar picture is clear now, too clear to question. The submarine is still there. Slower, heavier, cornered. Sub attempting descent, the helicopter reports. Minimal speed, trying to hide beneath another layer. But it will not reach safety in time. Weapon away! A second object drops from the helicopter and cuts cleanly into the sea. No ceremony, no hesitation, just release. The anti-submarine system arms almost immediately, diving deep, listening carefully as it begins its search. Far below, the Iranian submarine reacts too late. It turns hard, shifts depth, and changes its profile aggressively. Every evasive move its crew has trained for is now being used at once. Sonar watches all of it. They're maneuvering, CIC reports. Erratic. They know it's inbound. The underwater system closes the distance fast. Its seeker refines the picture, rejecting false signals and ignoring the noise scattered through the water. The submarine makes one final attempt. It cuts propulsion and goes nearly silent. For a few seconds, it buys uncertainty. Not enough. Contact lost. Stand by. A pause. Then the return snaps back onto the screen. Contact regained. Strong return. The underwater impact is sharper this time. Deeper. Final. The sound that follows is unmistakable. Metal under impossible strain. Compartments failing. A structure pushed past what it was built to survive. The submarine's track breaks apart into scattered noise, then settles into stillness. Submarine contact no longer maneuvering, sonar confirms. No propulsion noise. No one says the obvious. The Navy does not guess in moments like this. But everyone understands what the silence means. Above the water, the helicopter pulls back and maintains orbit. Sensors remain active, recording every return, every echo, every second. Evidence, confirmation, insurance. On the bridge, the captain finally exhales. Resume screen, he orders. Maintain readiness. The escorts begin easing back into position. The carrier never changed course. Not once. Inside CIC, the data is already being archived. Acoustic signatures, track behavior, enemy reactions. Every second of the encounter is saved. This was not chaos. It was execution. The inbound threat had been answered. The submarine had been neutralized. And the ocean once again belonged to the quiet professionals who understood it best. No cheering, no celebration. Only the steady hum of systems returning to watchful silence. Because out here, survival is not about noise. It is about doing everything right before the water closes in. The ocean settles first. Above the surface, nothing appears different. The carrier continues on the same heading it held before the first alarm ever sounded. White wake, steady speed, aircraft secured and ready. To an untrained eye, it looks like another routine transit. But below the surface, the story is already over.
Inside the Combat Information Center, the displays quiet down one by one. No inbound tracks, no maneuvering contacts, only background noise and the slow, familiar rhythm of the sea reclaiming itself. "Area clear," sonar reports. "No further movement." The captain acknowledges with a single nod. No speech, no emphasis. "Maintain watch," he says. "Return to normal posture." Condition 1 begins to step down. Watertight doors unlock. Systems settle back into steady state. The ship exhales without ever showing that it had been holding its breath. On the flight deck, crews resume movement as if nothing happened. A tow bar is lifted. A hand signal is completed.
A routine continues, made possible by minutes of absolute precision below the waterline. Inside CAC, the real work is only beginning. Every second of the encounter is already being replayed. Acoustic waveforms scroll across screens, timestamps align. Analysts compare the inbound system's behavior against known profiles, isolating its logic, its priorities, and the exact moment it ignored the decoys and committed to its final sprint. That information matters more than the impact ever did.
This system wasn't blind, one analyst says quietly. It was trained. No one disagrees. The submarine's acoustic signature is examined next. Propulsion rhythm, hull resonance, maneuvering response under pressure. The way it slowed when it realized it had been found. All of it is cataloged. Out here, data is deterrence. The helicopter crew lands smoothly, rotors winding down while the last sensor logs continue recording. Nothing is left to chance. Nothing is left undocumented. On the bridge, the captain looks out across the water again. The same calm surface, the same horizon. But now, the ship knows something it did not know before. So does someone else. There is no broadcast, no announcement, no proud message sent across the fleet. That is not how this world works. The message had already been delivered beneath the surface, in silence and at speed. One underwater weapon had been released with intent. It was not a warning. It was not a test. It was a choice.
And that choice was answered. What happened here will not be remembered through dramatic words. It will be studied through timelines, tracks, acoustic signatures, and quiet lessons added to training rooms and tactical manuals. Act once, and you reveal everything. Outwardly, the carrier strike group changes nothing, but inside the formation, the balance has shifted. The ocean remembers. The sensors remember. The analysts ashore will remember. And somewhere, another commander will study a gap in a patrol pattern, a silence where there should have been sound, and a report that ends before it should. They will understand. This is how confrontations at sea often end. Not with emotion, not with flags, not with speeches, but with professionalism doing its work faster than fear can take over. A line has been drawn in the water. It cannot be seen, but it will not be crossed lightly again. The carrier continues forward, unchanged in appearance and unstoppable in routine. Aircraft schedules resume, watches rotate, meals are served. Life aboard the ship goes on. Because discipline held, because training held, because when one underwater threat arrived with confidence, it met a force that had already prepared for that exact moment. They acted once. They will think for a very long time before choosing to act again.